Hi everyone, my name is Frank Brooks and I'm the head of EMEA Marketing at Digital. Digital is a cross-channel communication platform which will help deliver personalised experiences at scale. And thank you for that lovely introduction. And I'm really excited to be bringing you this session, which I think is definitely a bit risque, but I think something that as a data-driven marketer myself, I feel is really pertinent. So, let me take you back to 2006, where Clive Humby coined the phrase, "Data is the new oil," which was used to describe how data can be valuable. Now, fast forward to 2022, and many organizations have realized the role that processed data can play in gaining a competitive advantage in almost every industry and setting. But there's cost savings involved, product innovations, and some business models wouldn't even work without data. So what am I going to talk to you about? Well, if anyone's seen me talk before, I like to break things down into nice three concise areas. And the three things I'm going to be talking to you about today are data cleansing, data collection, and data consolidation. So data cleansing. Data is like oil in a sense that, like crude oil, data needs to be processed or refined to be valuable. And this is where many organizations struggle. As data becomes more abundant, the demands and expectations your organization has is definitely going to increase. And this puts far more pressure on the people and the technology involved in refining that data, almost to get crude data into usable insights and products. So, data hygiene teams, marketing operations teams often seesaw back and forth on data integrity and data hygiene. Often, they don't have access to the original data to make the changes. Gaining access to that original data can sometimes be absolutely impossible, and painful amounts of time are spent by data teams in doing manual cleansing. And I know us at Digital have done that a fair few times. But where can you start in actually making an impact into your data health? So the first thing is fixing data at the source, fixing it as it comes in. This can be done with technology, or simply just ensuring that your fields are mapping correctly. Newer digital-first companies don't suffer from this in terms of productivity lapse in this space. But if they're focusing on data cleansing as the data's coming in, that's where they'll gain a key advantage. The second part is actually reviewing the data that you're collecting regularly. Are you collecting data that's actually powering your campaigns? Or is your database just cluttered with many, many different data points? The opposite it could also be said, is there more data points you'd be collecting from your customer base? But I'll always say, if you're going to collect that data, it has to be for a reason. You have to use it to deliver meaningful and personalized experiences. And another one that comes up quite a lot is getting rid of duplicates. With data coming in, if you're not getting rid of your duplicates, it can be really dangerous to your database health, because if one data point is coming in multiple times, then how does that allow you to know that you've got a really concise and reliable data source? Furthermore, if you are using any predictive technologies, any AI, machine learning, then this will ultimately, with duplicates, is going to affect those results coming out. So that was all about sort of data cleansing, data coming in. The next point is data collection. So yes, they say less is more, but I think in data we all know more is more, but it has to be more of good quality, otherwise it is useless. So, talking to a room of marketers, I'm going to put this slide up, but we know the shift is on this year, as well, certainly into next year, the discontinuation of third-party cookies from Google from the end of 2023. Furthermore, growing privacy concerns, making it really hard for brands to gather consumer data across the web. Marketers are increasingly turning to a quality type of customer data called zero-party data. So, for those of you who don't know, zero-party data is information that consumers voluntarily pass to you. So they're giving to you that freely, and it's a really good way of actually getting data out of your consumers because they're more likely to be honest when you're asking them the questions. But they don't give it up for free most of the time. They're normally looking for an offer or just an incentive to better service. This data does provide more accurate data. I know there's two sides of the coin there, because they generally will tend to be really honest with what they're going to give you. Collecting zero-party data can eliminate the creepy factor. I think we're all in consumers in a place of knowing when a brand has maybe got some information on them. Me as a consumer, I know I have this a lot, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, I didn't quite give that. So zero-party data can be a good way of collecting real data that you can action. And that's how happy you are. But how can you do it? So some ideas here about collecting. It has many advantages, like I said, because it's accurate, because it's provided by the customer, and it's given freely. And I think there's some nice ideas here about actually you can sort of almost gamify how you're getting that data from your customers. It doesn't have to be really straightforward question and answer. You can sort of get it into some nice, cool ways into your marketing. But, this is at the bottom here, please remember the value exchange. They're going to expect something in return, and if you don't give it to them, they're likely to be quite disgruntled. So, finally, data consolidation. So, this is a really big thing for us at Digital. Data consolidation and the rise of a single customer view. So a single customer view, also called a 360 view, a unified customer view, you name it, as long as we're looking at every one data point on a prospect or a prospective client or a customer. So it's creating everything in a centralized location, hence single customer view, to get an action on an overview of every action that person's done, whether that's on their mobile, whether that's on your website, whether that's even in an offline store if you're potentially collecting data in that way. So why should you move towards or consider moving towards a single customer view? Well, we talked about zero-party data. I can talk to you about first-party data until the cows come home. But you want to be able to use the data that you're collecting. So first-party data is the stuff that you're sort of getting from sales information, anything on order history, etc., etc. That can be really powerful when layered on top on a single customer. You can really begin to understand their behavior, and you can look at their engagement, and that'll help you look at getting even more customers in the same space. You might realize that your champions spend, on average, £150 more than your standard customers. Or you might find out that it takes 8 orders for a customer to become loyal. Secondly, and I really like this point because it's talking about I'm sure you've all got a huge tech stack. I know we have at Digital, but having a single customer view can really help you validate your tech stack is working, that the data that you're getting from all different